Hello, I'm Leroy, and today I'll be going through the tiny details that you might miss and my thoughts and opinions about the Death Diary gameplay review. I'm sure you guys are extremely excited for the game, and I'm already convinced that you have gone through the video plenty of times. So I will not be covering the entirety of the video, but only certain topics that I want to talk about. Shout out to those from Philippines and Brazil as well. So these are the small details that you might miss out, and let's start with responsiveness. So at 120 of the video, responsiveness between the champion and the movement wheel is slightly concerning. I do often see this common trait in scroll wheel MOBAs. Sometimes I just feel like it's a little weird to waste that small amount of time just to turn 180. You can see here that when Olaf turns, he has a small delay when the input from the movement wheel clearly shows that it is already moving. It's around 30 to 50 milliseconds behind. Do not take this nitpick seriously. I'm just guessing, but it's obvious enough to point out, and a simple quick fix to make it seem snappier is to either minimize the delay or increase the turn rate to make it more efficient. At 1 minute and 32 seconds and 2 minutes in the video, the health UI is really too beefy. I think making the UI smaller for the health bar or reducing the opacity would benefit the gameplay, or give the option to resize. Visual cues are so very important in team fights. You wouldn't want something to obstruct important information like skills, champions, and etc. So we're at 4:36 in the video, so I don't really know if there will be specific champion lock buttons that will be displaying, but I would like to commend the uniqueness of the targeting function. This method is probably a great implementation that provides extra precision and dexterity. At the same time, it feels fluid in one motion. You can see Jin here chasing both champions, and in one motion he could easily switch targets if he wanted to. And I think this feature would be so much more easier to use when mastered or accustomed to, compared to tapping the champion icon and then relocating the finger back to the attack button, especially when team fights are happening and you wouldn't want overcrowding of different UIs for different champions. So at 4 minutes and 54 seconds of the video, I really love this feature of the last hit indicator. As you can see here, it adjusts according to the champion's basic attack damage. The line you see in the health bar is the threshold for the health bar to turn white, which means you're able to finish it in one attack. However, there are some ways to improve champions like Nasus that can also be made by including spells and augmented attacks accordingly. So when activating Nasus' stacking ability, it will be better and nicer to see a visual that allows him to last hit when the skill is used. So at 5 minutes and 12 seconds, this is a very small detail that I also spotted. The attack button lights up during an augmented attack or passive trigger. It's a small quality of life improvement that I like. This also applies to skills as well. So moving on to 6 minutes and 32 seconds into the video, there seems to be rubber banding that I need to point out as well. It is not an official term, but let me give you an example. So when you press the attack button, the character you are controlling will approach to the target and attack. If you are moving in the opposite direction like Xin Zhao here, you have that rubber banding effect or animation. I think this could be improved in a way that when the attack button is pressed, the character only attacks when in range and not move towards the targeted enemy. This is totally subjective on how I feel about it, but it can clearly improve on the orb walking or stutter stepping experience that feels like League of Legends. At 9:12 into the video, warding is changed to be able to place it anywhere instead of fixed positions. I really do like this change, and this also allows more complex plays around vision, where strategically placed wards will give useful information. I might be wrong on this, but you can also see that you can place wards over terrain, sort of like a small hack. Okay, let me show you what I mean. So I don't know if you're able to do that, but from what I can tell, it is possible, but we'll see. And one thing that I noticed too is that when the ward indicator is inside a bush, it will highlight the entire bush to give a visual representation. It is a very minute feature but so useful to the player. It's another quality of life improvement that I really appreciate. At 9 minutes and 53 seconds, this is a very specific topic that I really want to get my opinion out, and there's currently tons of debate about the jungle right now. We have people saying that it will have the same meta as Mobile Legends or something similar where there will be no jungle focused role, and the laners will grab everything in the jungle since there is no dedicated jungle item. I totally agree to this, and only to a certain extent, because we will only know the meta once the game is officially out to play. I truly want, and most players too, want to see the jungle difference in Wild Rift. So to counter this small issue is to simply embed the passives from Hunter's Machete into Smite, and also implement better scaling of the difficulty for jungle monsters from early to mid game. But what about ADC and mid laners choosing as a summoner spell? I'm glad you asked, because in Hunter's Machete's passive, there will be a small penalty that discourages laners to take it. Basically, minions grants less gold and less EXP if your income from lane is greater than your jungle income. And hopefully it could resolve this dilemma for the jungle. And I think that's all for today. Let me know what you guys think and how it can be improved further for the game. I'll definitely be pushing out more content, so stay tuned. If you appreciate the work I do, subscribe. And also, do join me in Discord, where we patiently wait for the official release and maybe discuss something about Wild Rift. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Please, I want alpha.